What's going on, everyone? Tim Williams here. It is Monday, July 20th. We are here to break down tonight's 8-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. If you are new to the channel, what's going on? My name is Tim. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each and every one of these 8 games here. We're going to talk pitching, hitting, try to kind of discover what kind of stacks we kind of like. We're going to kind of dig deep, talk some bullpens here and there. I don't have too much information on weather right now, so you have to kind of do that on your own today. It is quite early, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. First game here, we have the Cubs taking on the Pirates. No clear favorite here, 8 over under. Killian taking on Brubaker. Killian 5K, 2 starts this year, really struggled with his command last outing. Cubs bullpen second to last in bullpen ERA, but number 1 in strikeouts and home runs allowed. That seems a little bit strange. Probably not going to get there today. There's a couple aces that we're going to talk about that we're going to get to. I think some of the strategy could be kind of laid out for today's slate. Brubaker on the other side, 6.9K, 22.6% strikeout rate here, 9.8% walk rate. Not great. Nothing special there. 4.93 xFIP, 223 ISO given up to left-handed batters this year. There aren't too many of them on the Cubs. One spot I really do like here, I like what I'm seeing in Hap at 3.6K. I think is a decent one-off here and a good spot. I think there's just other stacks maybe we can kind of look at. On the other side, I think the left-handed bats are in play here. I think that's fair. Reynolds at 4K, 234 ISO versus right-handed pitching this season. Vogelbach, cheap option there. With some power upside, 256 ISO versus right-handed pitching this season at 2.7K. Swinsky, 2.2K, had a monster game yesterday, 3 home runs. Has some pop against righties as well. 213 ISO there. He might be somewhat, maybe a little bit more popular today based on his price tag and his huge game yesterday. But as of right now, maybe looking like a kind of a fade here, just kind of hoping that the ballpark kind of put some constraints on the offense here. But moving on, next one here, we have the Tigers taking on the Red Sox, 9.5 over under here. Fado taking on Wyszynski. Should be an interesting game. High over under total here and just under 10. Fado 7.2K, under 20% strikeout rate here, 5.05 xFIP. Tough matchup here against the Red Sox. 358 WOBA, 2 right-handed batters on the season, 231 ISO to left-handed batters. So that could mean righties are going to get on base, lefties could hit for power. This could get kind of ugly. Tigers bullpen's actually like kind of been decent, but really, really tough matchup in Fenway. Yeah, I mean, this is going to look pretty good for the Red Sox. They're probably going to be popular as far as the bats go. On the other side, Wyszynski, I'm probably saying that wrong, 6.2K, cheap price tag. Not sure if I trust the spot here. There are some really, really cheap bats on the Tigers side. It allows you to pay up for pitching. There's definitely 3 aces that we're going to talk about. But yeah, cheap price tags than Grossman, Green, Torkelson. Should be a pretty fun game to watch. I will be there. Pretty excited. On the other side for the Red Sox, Devers at 5.7K. Yes, it's a spend up. 295 ISO, 417 WOBA against right-handed pitching this season. Just has been excellent. Really, really in a nice pay up spot here. Duran, 3.4K, likely leading off. He is a left-handed bat, so he is in a good spot here. Martinez, 5.4. He's been hitting all year. Verdugo, struggling a little bit on the season, 3.5K. I think that's a fair price tag. Decent matchup for him. Bradley, just a throw in, if you're going to just stack the Red Sox, at 2.2K. I think he's just a cheap addition. He is a left-handed bat. You just never know. So I think the Red Sox are very much in play, probably the highest ceiling perhaps on this slate. Might carry some ownership here. And then, yeah, again, back to the Tigers. They have some really, really cheap pieces here. We don't know what we're going to get out of this Red Sox starting pitcher. So it could just be a pretty high total game here. Maybe bet the over if you're into it. Not too hot today in Boston, I might add, but nice spot for the Red Sox. Next game here, Yankees taking on the Rays, 6.5 over under here. The Yankees are favorited here on the road. We have Cole taking on McClanahan. Cole 10.5K, McClanahan 10.3K. Both pitchers very, very much in play. Super low over under total here if you're into that. Cole 30.7% strikeout rate here, 3.40 xFIP. Has some good numbers against the Rays. McClanahan on the other side, a bit of a tougher matchup going against the Yankees, who's just been hitting the ball all year. But 35% strikeout rate here, 48.3% ground ball rate, 2.69 xFIP. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, he's just been pitching so extremely well, extremely efficient. So that's definitely very intriguing. You could even play both of these pitchers against each other. That might make you a little bit different. As far as bats go, Yankees are going to be pricey. Judge 6.3K, 292 ISO versus left-handed pitching, but this is a tough matchup. He's going after one of the better pitchers in baseball this season. They are playing in Tampa, low run total here. McClanahan can give up a home run or two, but I just don't have too much interest in digging for, the buried treasure here. On the other side with the Rays, Choi, if you're into that BVP, he is 9 for 19, 474 batting average against Cole with 3 home runs. So if that floats your boat, it's there. Next, we have the Giants and the Braves, 8 over under here. Webb taking on Fried. A couple of ground ball pitchers here. Webb, 21.2% strikeout rate here, 58.4% ground ball rate. xFIP is excellent, 347 there. Struggling a little bit more, 2 left-handed bats, but the Braves may only have 2 in tonight's lineup. Braves are always a threat in general with their offense, but they do come with some strikeout liability. On the other side, Fried 9.5K. Don't really love the price there. I'd rather just pay up for some of the aces on the slate. 23% strikeout rate here, 53% ground ball rate, 344 xFIP here. So kind of similar pitchers to a point. Giants side with the bats, they do have some lefty mashers here in Slater, Yastrzemski, Ruff, but they're priced right where they should be. The upside might be limited against Fried. On the other side, I do like Matt Olson here quite a bit, 4.4K. I think that's a pretty nice, fair price tag, maybe even a little too cheap. He is a left-handed bat against Webb, who does struggle a little bit more against left-handed bats. 213 ISO versus right-handed pitching. Like I said, does have that upside. 3 for 9 with 1 home run against Webb if you're thirsty. Moving on. Next, Blue Jays, White Sox, 9 over under here. Blue Jays are favorited here on the road. Barrios taking on Lynn. Barrios 9K, 20.5% strikeout rate here, 463 xFIP. Just hasn't really been too great. Has shown some signs of promise. Struggles bad versus left-handed batters, but there's literally probably no left-handed batters tonight in the White Sox lineup. So I think he is in play. I wish he was, 1K cheaper. 9K is kind of hefty when really you could probably just find some cheaper bats to pay up, but could be lower owned because of that. I'm not sure what the weather is in Chicago. The 9 over under total is kind of high. Lynn on the other side, 5.8K, second start of the season coming off an injury. It is the Blue Jays, so it could be a tough matchup, right? But he is cheap. Generally good against right-handed batters here. Toronto pretty much right-handed. The risk here is he's kind of coming off that injury. We don't really know what his ceiling is going to be. I'm assuming if you're building, 20 lineups or so, he's probably in play because of his cheap tag. Allows you to pay up. We're looking to pay up here, So yeah, I'm not going to argue playing the Blue Jays here. I think the obvious bats are in play. I don't need to highlight those. They do come at a pretty high price tag, so it makes it pretty tough to pay up for that top tier pitching, but maybe you can pair them with the Tigers if you're just a straight up savage. And I think that's a viable option on this 8-game slate. On the other side, Red Sox or White Sox not really striking out a ton versus right-handed pitching, but they're not really hitting very well against right-handed pitching, which kind of makes Barrios an interesting GPP play to me. So yeah, kind of an interesting game actually. Next game here, Cardinals and the Brewers. Brewers are favorited here at home, 7.5 over under. Mikolas taking on Burns. And this is another interesting game here. Mikolas coming off that near no hitter there. He did throw 129 pitches last outing, which is, I think, a little bit of a concern. I'm not really sure if projections kind of like pick up on that. They don't pick up on like guys with lingering arm issues or anything like that. I don't know if, data suggests that it knows that he threw, nearly 130 pitches last time out. I don't mind the price tag on him. 20% strikeout rate there, a little bit below average, 45% ground ball rate, 4.27 xFIP. So perhaps maybe just pitching a little bit, better than what the numbers say. On the other side, Burns 9.9K, 32% strikeout rate here, 332 xFIP. Great pitcher, tougher matchup, but he did crush against St. Louis, though. I think he put up 40 DraftKings points. So kind of interesting there. On the Cardinals side, like they match up well against right-handed pitching, but it's just not really a spot I'd like to attack. There's other offenses I'm going to try to get to here. We've been all burned by the Cardinals before, and this could be another one of those spots. Burns isn't really a guy I want to attack anyway. As far as Brewers bats go, Adames 5.4K, a little bit pricey. Maybe that drives the ownership down. 269 ISO versus right-handed pitching here. Tellez 3.8K, 3 for 5 with a home run against Mikolas. Renfroe 3.6K. The bat is heating up. Brewers 5th in strikeouts against right-handed pitching on the season. Granted, Mikolas is pretty much an average, strikeout pitcher, but maybe, like I said, maybe pitching a little bit over his head. The xFIP's kind of like letting us know that maybe there will be a little bit of regression coming. Could be a pretty interesting low-owned stack, TBH. So moving on. Next, we have the Royals taking on the Angels. 9 over under here. Angels are favored in this one. Bubic taking on Syndergaard. Bubic 6.1K, below 18% strikeout rate there, 13.4% walk rate. Hate to see it. 5.40 xFIP. Don't love that. On the other side, Syndergaard 6.4K. They're just really trying to tempt you with that price there. 16.4% strikeout rate. That's not great, obviously, especially in DFS. 48% ground ball rate, 4.98 xFIP. Just kind of like had his struggles this season. It is what it is. Maybe he's getting a little bit dusty. Who knows? Royals 25th overall in strikeouts versus right-handed pitching. So not a easy strikeout matchup for him. His strikeouts are down. The price is pretty tempting. So I guess you could play him in those large field GPPs if you really want to, but I just don't know if the ceiling's going to be there. Royals are pesky. They always kind of have been. So I'm not in love with the spot. I think the bats are in play. I do question the upside a little bit. I always like to go to Michael Taylor, 2.6K as a cheap one-off. I think he's going to be trade bait this season. I think they want his bat to kind of get going here. But that's only if you're kind of desperate for like a one-off in deep GPPs there. So Royals, yeah, I guess in play, but we'll see. If I'm building like 1 to 3 lineups, I don't think I'll get there. But on the other side with the Angels, Trout 5.6K, 5 home runs in the last 5 games. He is heating up. Ward probably going to lead off 3.9K. Great price. Walsh, don't mind him as like a 3-man stack addition at 3.9K. There's other pieces in there, and they're not sexy by any means. They are kind of cheap though. So again, it allows you to pay up for the aces on the slate. People are going to be looking towards the Tigers, maybe not thinking so much about the Angels. So Royals do in general have a pretty bad bullpen this season. However, they are quite rested after playing the Oakland Athletics. Next and final game of this 8-game slate tonight, the Diamondbacks against the Padres. Padres are favored here, 7 over under. Davies taking on Darvish. Davies 6.6K, 20% strikeout rate here, 4.74 xFIP. He doesn't have no Manny Machado to face. Tatis obviously has been out this whole year. So kind of a little bit more watered down lineup for the Padres. On the other side, Darvish at 8.1K, fair price tag, 20.5% strikeout rate here, 4.73 xFIP. So kind of having similar years here. However, Davies is priced much, much cheaper. However, Darvish has way more upside here. So nice price on him anyway. I think this is a tough one. And this is where you kind of look at those over unders, and it is 7 and it is in San Diego. If you want to play the BVP game, some people like that. Some people hate that. Peralta, 3.3K, 231 ISO versus right-handed pitching this year. I think that's quite all right. Pretty good. 9 for 21, 429 batting average, 3 home runs against Darvish here. So really don't mind that, one-off late night hammer. Kind of hope he hits one out against Darvish. You could even play him against Darvish. On the other side, Voit 4.7K. Price is going up on him. He does have a hot bat. 238 ISO versus right-handed pitching. That is interesting. It's a loaded position though, so I don't know if I'm going to get there. Diamondbacks, one note here, they are third in general in strikeouts against right-handed pitching. But the power is there, sixth in home runs against right-handed pitching as well. So it's just what kind of version are you going to get out of Yu Darvish here, right? Are you going to really want to put all your chips on him? Or, are you going to try to go up, spend up for the aces? I think we've kind of identified some of the offenses that you can kind of target for some cheap bats. There's definitely offenses where you can pay up in stacks. So I think we broke it down pretty good here. If that helped you out, please it helps me out a ton. Subscribe to the channel. I don't do these videos every day, but I think I'm going to do a couple this week. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you for watching. Best of luck in your contest today. Peace out.